Okay, welcome back, and sorry for that break. So, in the last video we took this section, transferred it down here so that we've got these values stored, and we're just going to save this, come into here, tell it to load in the new script, save it, and we're going to fly the mission again. It's going to come up to Game Master here and fly. And again, we're going to pull up our G-logger. If I can find it, I may have closed it out here. Looks of it, I closed it out. Yes, I've closed it out, so I'll have to reopen it. I'm just going to pause you guys for a moment while we look at something. So here we go. So we can see that our squadron has started its takeoff. It's chosen a MiG-21 this time. And a group of 2. These guys will get airborne and they'll go sit in their cap. And yeah, so we know that's all correct. So we can now start going and filling out for the rest and working on the next part of the mission. So we'll pause for a moment and I'll continue in a second. Okay, so with the confirmation that that's working, we want to get the Kerman Airport cap up and running. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of this again. We're going to comment this and we're going to say Western Defense Squadron Setup. This section here will become Northern Defense Squadron Setup. We literally can just change this to Northern. But for this one we're actually going to, and we want these guys to patrol in Cap 2. But we actually want to add in a couple of extra birds here. So we're going to come to our templates just here. And we're going to add another MiG template. Like this, and we're actually going to change its loadout just slightly. So it's going to run this setup, which is more a close-in setup. Then we're going to give them some F4s. Running this setup, we're going to call this run F4 template. So we want this name. We come here and we go this, and then Iran F4 template. Helps if we do this properly. So we want to do this. So we want to make certain we've got the inverted little brackets here on each of these. We'll expand this out properly, like so. So now we've got our Northern Defence Squadron, which is going to launch out of Kerman here, and we're going to make, and it's going to have 12 airframes as well, or 14, sorry. And we're going to make our final one, which will be a rapid response group out of Bandar Bias here. But there's one last thing we have to do, which is change the airfield that these guys are actually coming out of. So Kerman, so this will be Persian Gulf dot Kerman, like that. And our final one will be Bandar. So again, we're going to take this, copy, paste, and for this group, there's change this to Bandar. There's not going to be any F-14s. There will be some 29s, and there won't be any F4s. We're only going to have 8 out of Bandar. And the reason we're only having 8 for its cap, and they're going to cap up in Red Cap 1, is we're going to add a ground control GCI squadron there. So we're going to go Bandar Squadron GCI. Red A2A dispatch set. GCI. So the thing here is we want them to Bandars to engage out to about here. So we want about 80 nautical miles, roughly. So we do utils dot nautical miles to meters, 80. Then we're going to go set squadron GCI. And we've just remembered we may want to go change this, so I'm going to change this to change all this to Bandar. And actually we will increase this number back up to 12. And then back down here, this is going to be Bandar Defense Squadron. And we're just going to take the section here for engagement. So this section here. What this has done is it's set up a ground controlled intercept that will go out 80 nautical miles from Bandar. The final one we're going to set up is just a small squadron out of Kasab. But Kasab's we're going to actually change completely so that it's very different. So it's actually on the ground. So here we're going to go red A2A dispatch. Actually, we want to turn around. This is Kasab. Set squadron. It's going to be Kasab Rapid. It's going to be at airbase dot Persian Gulf dot Kasab. This is literally going to be just the Iran. And I'm going to have 6 fighters here. I'm going to set their squadron overhead for Kasab to 1.0. We're going to set squadron GCI for again, we're just going to copy these set. We could actually just make these again like we did with these constants. So this is basically set this up as a GCI only group. And then there's one last thing we want to do here. Red A2A disp set squadron takeoff from parking hot, and that'll be, so that means I'll take off from the parking hot rather than thing, and they will only be considered landed when they've taxied and shut down. The final thing we can do here, I believe, there's a command to go set. It's a command in here which allows us to basically have them all display. So it'll actually put all these units out on the ground. Yes, set squadron visible. We'll do it for Banda as well. The others aren't so important because chances are you're not going to see them. And this gives us our air-to-air defensive side for Iran. So now if we go here, here, and here, we'll load this in, save it. We're going to bring up Glogger like before. I'll expand this out a little bit here. Now we're going to make certain it's double certain that it's saved, fly the mission, start. Start, fly. And if we look here, we can start to see that the mission has a scripting error. So, again, you know, we've got an error, but we can see it came down after Bender. So, and it's because we're missing, apparently I typed this wrong. So, let's quickly go fix that. Quit. Mission editor. Because it's an underscore 2, and I didn't put an underscore 2 on this one just here. The other thing we can do so we can see where our stuff is up to is this. So base E, then we're going to go mission start. Constant. So mission loading start, loading constants. This will put in a message in our log a little bit different to this set. Down here we'll do loading start. Red cat aircraft. We're going to change. We're going to say this one. Done with red cat. I'm going to close this one here out so that I don't have to listen to this down here. We're going to go back into here again. Load, open, tutorial, okay. File, save. We'll actually save it out like this. File, fly, start. Okay, now we're going to look at this. And so, if we scroll up, what we can now see is this set, which is telling us where we're up to. So, everything's loaded in and down. Everything should be displayed. We should be able to come down here, and if we have a look outside, apart from the fact I hit the wrong thing, we can see the parked aircraft here. And if we go have a look at up here, we can see the parked aircraft up in these hangars up here. Got one set of squadrons, birds taking off up here. We should have another set taking off here, which we do. Set of Tomcats. And we're going to set taxiing here. So this one's taxiing. And this one's starting his taxi. And if we sat here long enough, they'd get up and they'd fly their cat. This tanker will end up in its hold. The AWACS will end up doing its thing. When they run out of fuel, They should try and go to the tanker before anything else. Yada yada yada. So we know this side's running correctly. So now we need to start getting some of our Blue Force stuff done. At least for the moment. We'll worry about SAM sites down here in a second. We'll worry about some of the stuff for in here in a minute as well. We want to get just the basics for the Blue Force done up. So first off, what we want is a tank AWACS. So we're going to change this to AWACS. We want an E3. It's going to take off from the runway. He's going to fly out here. And he's going to come up to 16,000 here. He's going to fly at 0.60. He's going to fly to here, climbing up to 26 before anchoring here and running basically a 30 nautical mile pattern here over the top of everything. So there to there so we want to come back here, advanced, add task orbit, come back to 0, make certain the LPRS is on. He's going to orbit for stop condition, will be duration of 6 hours. So if the mission's not done in 6 hours, he'll bugger off and go home, but we'll have a thing in that will respawn him if that happens, or if he gets shot down or something like that. So then once he's done, he's going to come back out. He's going to come back out and over Minhad's beacon and anchor at 5,000 feet at 250 knots before finally landing. We want 5 for a second here, get that over Minhad. So that gives us the tanker, and we're going to name him our AWACS, and he's going to be Overlord. So Overlord, and then we're going to have a tanker. So our tanker's actually going to take off from Minhad as well. And part of me always prefers to try and have these take off from different airfields, but it doesn't matter. It's going to take off from parking hot just here, and it's going to be an AWAC. We want AWAC. Not AWAC, it's going to be a tanker. It's going to be one of 2 tankers actually. So refueling. Now this guy's going to be a KC-135. It's actually going to be one of 3 tankers because we need one for the... No, we don't actually need one for the A-10s. So you get the point, because like the F-16s need a boomer at one speed, the A-10s need a boomer at another speed and altitude, and then the Hornets and the like need a drogue capable at another speed. Well, they just need a drone capable roughly doing the same speed as a tanker with a boom, and yeah. So what we're going to do here is he's going to be Texaco 1-1. And Texaco is going to be our thing. He's going to be running on 22 Yankee. And we need to actually note this because it's going to be important. So we're going to go Texaco 22 Yankee. And we're also going to note what frequency we've got him on. We need to do that for the AWACS as well. We're going to stick him on 252, which we do up here. So we come back into here, 252U, which is for uniform. And this guy's on 251, which is a default. Okay, so that's that and that. Then KC, so what's he going to do? Well, he's going to take off, just like this guy. He's going to fly to the waypoint here. Then he's going to come back and he's going to climb up to 1,200 feet before flying over to Raz here and anchoring in a 25 nautical mile run. So he's going to be running a 25 nautical mile pattern out this way. When he's done, like the other one, he's going to come over here to 5,000 feet before landing. But again, we need to now check some numbers, adjust some things. So up into this point, he can be doing 0.7. He can be doing 0.7 out to here, and then once here, he's going to perform task orbit. So once he's in this orbit, he's going to stop after a duration of 3 hours. Actually, we'll give him 4 hours. No, not 24. 4. Oh, bloody hell. 4. So 4 hours in, he's going to stop, and our script will fix this and take care of it. We'll also have to late activate all these as well. So we may actually move this guy over to take off from ramp. So we take off from parking hot as well. So that'll move him to here. Just got to hope we've got enough stands here. It's not looking promising. We've got a couple more over there. Might work. But we need this guy's speed. So he's at 12,000 because he's going to be for the 810s. It's also why he's over here at Raz. Because it means they can basically take off with from Minhab with a fairly heavy load, refuel as they get on station at the hold point here before heading up and into the AO. So we need his speed. How do we do this again? Well, just like before, we're going to pull up this aviation calculator, 12,000 feet. Now, the speed we want for the A10 is about, fully loaded, it's about 220 knots calibrated airspeed, which as we can see is not that fast. It's 262 meters, or 0.4 of a Mach. So it's slow. You're not going to tank a heavy fighter at those speeds. That's why we're going to produce another couple of aircraft here. But he's done. We're going to set him to late activation. We're going to set him to late activation. We're going to copy Texaco 11. We're going to paste him. And like I feared, there is no spot here for him, by the looks of it, because I can't see him anywhere there. So he's gone to Al Macomb International just here. So we're going to convert Al Macomb International Airfield here into... Actually, no we won't. He can take off from Al Drafra. because we can have him come out. He's going to climb out this way. He's going to be doing 0.75 in his climb all the way up to 22,000 feet. Going to be doing 0.75 all the way out here to 22,000 feet. Then once he's here, he's going to be at 22,000 feet. We want him to be doing about roughly 300 knots. So we want a true airspeed of 412 knots in the pattern. We want him on a slightly different orbit to the other tanker. And we want this to be a full leg. So 50. We'll run it as a half leg, 25 nautical miles in each direction will do. So that 30 there will do. We also need to come back here, we need to change this. He's going to be on 44 Yankee. Again, we come in to here and we want to change this. So he's going to be Arco 11. Arco 11. We come into here, so Arco, what did we just put him on? He'll be on 252 uniform as well, but 44 Yankee. We want him on 44 uniform Yankee. And finally we want to create our probe and drogue bird. So he's going to be Shell 11. Shell. He's going to be on 55 Yankee. And he's going to be a KC-135 with the multi-probe refueling. His flight plan is going to follow basically the same route, at least out to here, and to the anchor. But then he's going to anchor southerly. So we're going to come here. And middle mouse button down, need it a little bit longer. That's about right. And of course he's going to be at a completely different altitude. So we want him at 18,000 feet, not 22. And we need to recalculate his true airspeed. We want him doing about 280 knots. 18. Compute. At 280. Oh, we can actually leave it at 300. So we want 388 knots. So he'll go running on 300 that way. So that's got our tankers and our AWACS in. But if we just started the mission right now, they won't show up because they're late activated and they're never being activated. We also need to put his frequency data up and into the briefing, so it's at least there for when we do the briefing properly. So he's going to be on 55 Yankee. He's going to be SHL. We should have done this too on the others. So shell. That'll update anyway, yeah. This will be Arc and Arco. So he's on 55 Yankee. And I mean, we can actually push the tankers to different frequencies too, so we could do 3, 4. So he'll be on 254, 253, and 252 and 251. So that gets them all off the same frequency, and we'll map that into the various aircraft as we need to. We're going to save that so that it does not get lost. Now we're going to come back to our script here. We're going to do another do and end. We're going to come back up to the constants here. We're going to go blue AWAC equals group, find by name, and we're going to find our blue AWACS again, so which is here, and it is Overlord. And this just saves Overlord for us into data. The next thing we're going to do here is blue AWAC spawn, which we will do shortly. Actually, we'll create that one in a minute. We're going to do blue taxi to go equals group, find by name, Texaco 11. Blue shell equals group, find group, find by name, shell 11. I believe it is. We'll double check that in a second. Arco equals group, find by name, Arco 11. So at the moment these guys are they're just placeholders for it. So here what we're going to do, if we're going to create a new one, it's going to be basically this. So B AWAC spawn equals spawn new and we're going to go, this is going to be Overlord, so the same thing we put in here. So it's just telling it that this is going to hold a spawner. We're going to go init, clean up, and we're going to set this to 300. So what this is meant to do, though sometimes it doesn't, is if something's alive but can't do anything, it will destroy it in 300 seconds. It's for if things get stuck in the like, or it's at least meant to be. It doesn't always work. We're going to init again. We're going to tell it to init repeat on engine shutdown. We're going to set up this, which is a function for when this group spawns. So when this group spawns, we want to call function spawn group, and we got no arguments. So now we're going to create a function in here that's going to happen anytime this group spawns. So first off, it's going to double check if blue AWAC here is, if it exists or not. So if blue AWAC is alive equals true, so if then end. So if it's alive and we're spawning, something's wrong, so we want to destroy that group so that we don't have more than one of them active at any time. Then we are going to store the new item as blue AWAC. Is going to equal our spawn group. So this stores the new group into here. And eventually we will send a message saying that Overlord is going to be around soon. But we're not quite to the point there. We're just putting the note in. I believe the on we can actually do an on event dead. We should be able to here as well within this function. I just need to double check something. Give me one moment. Okay, so having double checked some stuff, this is what we want to do here. So we want on our spawn group, we want function, we want to create a new function in here. After we do this, so blue AWAC is going to become our spawn group, and we're also going to do spawn group handle events.dead. So this is going to handle what happens if we die. Then we're going to create a new function. So this is going to be at param self at param core dot event data. This is just helps if you're doing any mouse over or the like. The other thing I should note is we can actually nest this down. If you find this type annoying, you can do it like this, and the like it will work. I don't like doing it that way unless I have to put comments in. Then we're going to create a new function here called function spawn group on event dead event data, and we can see how we get this by doing this. So blue AWAC on event dead. So we're basically creating that event there, but we're doing it within here. And so if it's dead, so when it dies, we're going to send event data dot ini group message to all Mayday, 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 Overlord is going down. "15-second and going down." So that's going to tell us this. It's going to send that, and we're going to set up a scheduler that will basically tell this to spawn. So it's going to call another function which will literally tell it to spawn. So in here we're just going to go respawn be AWAC like this. It's not, this function doesn't exist yet, but it will. The other function we're going to subscribe to here is events land, and again function spawn group on event land, event data, and and data dot ini group message to all. It's just going to tell it that you've landed, and so that's just going to subscribe us to these two events. We could also handle events, so we've got a couple of events we can handle. So on event hit, so which is if it's hit by a weapon. So we could also handle it. Spawn group, handle events. Dot hit. Again. The reason we put this section in spawn group is, if you noticed just now when I was typing, we didn't get none of this brought up any of the same stuff that we were getting up here while I was typing out. And even here, we need to double check that syntax and everything is correct, because for some reason it looks a little messed up. We'll just copy this one. If in doubt, copy. Paste. And put a space in. So we're going to grab this set again. That'll be why that one's not. Moron. Okay, that. So on an event hit, we're going to send an event data dot ini group capital G group message to blue. Mayday, 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 Overlord is under fire. And let's see, can we get event data dot so we could get the groove. I'm just wondering what else we can get. Can we get position? Could get the weapon. There probably is a way of actually getting it. I could get the group and then get the because this returns a group and I could get the exact position and then return that and send it out and all that jazz, but we don't actually need to. We just want it to just put a thing up so that'll say it's under fire. Okay, so that's that done. We don't actually call the respawn here. We are going to, just because it just stores it, so we're going to now make the function respawn be AWAC. And it's literally going to be, we're going to create a scheduler. So, scheduler, I believe that's typed properly. Maybe it's capitals. 1 second here. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, scheduler new. Scheduler object, function, blah blah blah. So this is going to be nil. We don't have an object. Function is going to be function. And arguments is just going to be that. Start is going to be 5 seconds after this is called. It's not going to repeat or anything else like that, so we can go like this. And technically we could just put this in with a spawn, but we're going to make a function just in case we wanted to not spawn new, we want spawn. That's just going to tell it to spawn this in. Okie dokie. Because I believe we... Okay, yeah, we can have this set message to all. So there's our Overlord script set up. Best thing here is we can basically take this script and reuse it for the tankers. So we're going to copy this, and you'll remember up here we did shell, Arco, Texaco. We're just going to come down below this set. Anyway, done. Here we're going to make this one be shell spawn. If we had Texaco first, oh well, we'll do it properly. Texaco spawn. This is going to be Texaco 11, which again, it's here. Same events, except for here we change this to read here, blue Texaco. If blue Texaco is alive, then blue Texaco will die, and blue Texaco helps if we put the E on here, is going to equal spawn group, respawn B tex. And of course it won't be Overlord here, it's going to be Texaco 11. Texaco 11 and Texaco 11. And again, this is going to be blue Texaco. That sends the message. We need to make our new respawn item. And I mean, we could technically just, so we could have this as like respawn group, right? And then we'll just go our group. We change this to our group. So function that calls a spawn group spawn object 5 seconds after function call. So we're going to come up here, we're just going to quickly change this. So this is going to be respawn group. And the group that this is going to be will be AWAC spawn. I believe we can do that. I believe we can call it from within itself. We'll find out. Otherwise we should be able to do a self dot. And again, down here, this will be respawn group B text go spawn. And if we can't, we can cheat. So this will thing. So what we can technically do is this. Just in case, we can go blue AWAC spawn equals nil. We want to put an E there. I didn't realise I missed that. Blue text goes spawn equal nil. And all this is doing is making certain that we actually have variables instanced, even if they're technically empty. That can be referenced by our script, no matter what. So we want a blue, blue, blue. And again, we're going to come here, take this section, we're going to change this to BB Arco. This I believe will be Arco 11. Change this to again B Arco, 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 B Arco. And see, we don't actually need to do this as this, we could do this, and it would have probably made my life easier. Spawn group. It would have removed at least one thing, and if we just come up here, double check again that our variable's correct. Blue Arco, yep, so the final one's going to be blue shell, and it's actually Arco 11 lowercase, we make certain that's correct, yep. So final one, blue shell. Shell, and it's going to be shell 11. So now this is going to be blue shell. So that changed this to shell 11. Capital it. And again, I could have this. There's ways I can decrease the amount of times we have this function. You could have this all and just pass the variable here, and then reference that variable and stuff like that. You could have this all basically within one function that just triggers once and has all the data. I'm not saying that this is the fastest way of doing this. We're almost at an hour on this one, so we want to get this one done so that we can see how it works and the like. So what we've got to do is one last thing. We've got to trigger a spawn event, which is for all of these. So we're going to do base E spawning supports. So we're going to do B AWAC spawn, B Arco spawn, B Texaco spawn, B shell spawn. Save that. Come into here, load our tutorial mission in again, and I've just realised you guys have probably been missing parts of this script. I apologise, but I type it all out as I go, and I'll show the script again. I forgot to get rid of the log. My apologies. So let me see how much this was cutting off. Oh, not that much at least. Thankfully. But what we've done is this. So all this part that I was typing out, it's just these sections here. And again, this script and everything will be up where anybody can get it, play with it and learn from it. So we've done that, we've updated it here. We're going to go File, Save, Flights, Fly Mission, Start. We're going to make certain that logs up because we want that log, we need that log. Fly, we're going to come down to the bottom and everything's loading in, and we have a scripting error. So we can see we've got a scripting error. No group with spawn prefix Arco11, so I screwed up somewhere there. Let's go double check that. Quit mission editor. Texaco 11. I've probably capitalized it or something like that. Yeah, I did. So we fix that. Arco 11. Fix that. Save. File. Fly. Start. Again, come down the bottom. Watch this as it scrolls in. See where we next screwed up. And this is how coding goes. And so look, we can apparently find it already. Shell 1. What the frick did I do there? Mission editor. But again, this tells us which lines we need. So it's on line 173. 173. We can see the line number just down here. So the line number is right here. And we want line 173, which is going to be, yeah, shell 11, that's correct. Again, capitals, God, I hate them. Save it, flights, fly mission, start. This is why it's actually a good idea to write each of your missions down, each unit name down somewhere. It just makes your life a little bit easier. Okay, so we have a new one, and it's in our handle events on 79. So we're going to pause this video, start the next one, and we'll troubleshoot this set because it's a nil value one, which means we need to work out what's going on line 84 and the like. So quit and see you in the next video.